Hey guys, what's going on? Megan here. Sorry it's been a while. Been really busy with the stock market. Haven't really had time to make videos, but I had to make a video on this topic. You guys know I was a huge fan of Ronnie Coleman growing up as a kid. And I watched the entire interview with Joe Rogan, and me and my friends were arguing about this topic here. So I was like, let me make a video about this, see what my subscribers think, and I'm going to give my opinion. We were arguing about the interview because right, he said he was natural and he didn't start using steroids until he turned 30. And that's pretty much when he took off, right? And of course, everyone is divided on that. Right? Someone like, oh, no, he's full of shit. There's no way in hell. He was natty. And some are saying that, maybe there is some truth to that. Maybe he was natty. So I'm going to give you guys my opinion. All right. So again, quick background. He's on a Joe Rogan show. And there was a part where, Joe asked him about steroids and they were talking about, the complications that come with that, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, Joe was mentioning how he knew people who used to abuse steroids and they didn't make it till the age of 30. And that's when Ronnie mentioned that he was actually clean and didn't start taking steroids till, till the age of 30. So let me tell you guys what I think. I think he's not lying. I think he's not lying, right? And I'm going to show you exactly why. Check this here, right? This is Ronnie when you gotta understand. Reason number one, right? Reason number one, Ronnie's a genetic freak, right? Everyone knows this. Ronnie probably has the best genetics on the planet, right? Um, and that's saying a lot, right? Because obviously we've seen a lot of genetic freaks come and go, but no one comes close to Ronnie here. I mean, even Phil Heath is a genetic freak, but he's nowhere near Ronnie Coleman's level, right? And that's saying a lot, right? But check this out. So this is Ronnie when he was a teenager, right? I don't know the exact age, but that's when he was a teenager, right? And you can actually tell. Keep in mind, he played football. He played football in high school and in college. So this is him as a teenager. So you can actually see that. Obviously, he had above average genetics. This is him. I don't know his actual age, but he's definitely less than 20, right? 20 or less because he graduated from college at the age of 20. So this was him playing football in college. He was a linebacker, I believe. And again, you can see, 5'11", good build, BBC genetics, all of that, right? And obviously he was lifting at the time, right? And this is him when he won his first show, not professional show, but I think it was like some show in Texas, and he was about 26, right? Again, looks pretty good. And most of you guys would say, well, he had to be on steroids here. I don't think so, guys, because think about it. Here he was about 26 years old, right? And this is him at 29, right before he turns 30, right? Because he said that he started taking them at. Sorry, I had to mute my phone. But this is him at 29, right? Age 29, right? And keep in mind, around this time, he's been lifting for a long fucking time, right? So you got good genetics and someone who's been lifting for a long time. How do I know that? Well, think about it. If he was playing football since he was in high school, right? So let's say he started playing football at age 16. Obviously, he started before that, but just to be safe, let's say he started around 15, 16, right? And obviously, if you're playing football, you're working out, right? Facts, especially if you're a linebacker. So from age 16 to age 29, right? That's 13 years of lifting, right? Probably not consistently, but it's still lifting experience. Right? It's still 13 years of lifting, and he was also doing powerlifting and things like that. So if after 13 years of lifting with some of the best genetics in the world, you can have this physique, then we all fucked, guys. Like, what's the point of even working out? Right? This is the guy with the best genetics in the fucking world. Right? And if after 13 years of lifting, he can achieve this physique naturally, then why are we even lifting? So let's be real, right? So that's why I believe that he's actually not bullshitting, right? If he was on the juice, it was probably very, very low doses. So that's the first two reasons, right? The fact that he's a genetic freak and the fact that he's been lifting for well over a decade at this point here. The third and final reason why I believe he was natural on very, very, very low doses until the age of 30, as he claims, is because, guys, let's not forget that this is what Ronnie eventually morphed into, right? So this is him at age 29. This is him later in his career, up until, his mid to late 30s, right? It doesn't even look like the same person. It's like a completely different person. So let's say here he was around what? We'll say around 210, 200 pounds maybe, right? Definitely not more than 220 here, right? He definitely was not more than 220 pounds. So let's just pick 210 pounds here, all right, just to be conservative. And eventually he went to, 290, 300 pounds on stage, right? So how do you go from, uh, let's say 210 pounds to close to 300 pounds? So 90 pounds of muscle. And this is obviously lean muscle, right? Because, again, this is stage weight. So how do you put on 90 pounds of muscle if he was already taking steroids around this time, right? So that's why it doesn't make sense, guys. There's no way in hell he was taking steroids when he was under 30 because where did this growth come from, right? That's not just from eating, right? He had to hop on the juice after the stage. I mean, it's obvious, guys. It's obvious. You do not put on 90 fucking pounds, up to 90 pounds of muscle, right? If you were already on steroids for years prior to that, right? And that's why I believe him. Just from looking at the transformation that he made, because he said he started taking steroids at 30, and that was around 1994, I believe, right? And the transformation that he made after 1994, right? So 95, he won his first pro show, I believe, in 1995. So from 95 all the way to 2003, 2004, the amount of mass that he put on, that had to come finally happen on the gear. I mean, look at his legs, right? Even his calves. Look at his chest. Look at his lats, right? So yeah, so that's why I believe that Ronnie Coleman was actually telling the truth. I mean, going from here, right? Somebody with amazing genetics, and on this picture here, over 13 years of experience lifting, right? Transforming into this beast here, right? What changed? Obviously, there's obviously food. You obviously have to eat a lot more food, but you don't just eat and go from here to here, right? It had to be because he finally got on the juice, right? Else, how to explain that from age 26 to 29, right? So for 3 years, there's barely any change, and then boom, you turn into that, right? So yeah, so I absolutely believe him, and believe that before the age of 30, it was natural, or on some very very shitty steroids because like I said, that transformation after the age of 30 was just insane. But still, let me know what you guys think, and stop underestimating what the human body can do naturally. You'd be amazed if you have really really good genetics, top class elite genetics. You'd be amazed at how much muscle people can put on. Watch my last video on West African genetics and stuff like that. In fact, I really believe that Ronnie Coleman takes a genetic test, takes an ancestry test. I guarantee you he's probably from Ghana or Nigeria. Somewhere in that region. Somewhere in that region. I'm 80% sure it's probably Nigeria. Just by looking at his facial features. But we'll find out. But anyway, watch my last video on genetics and BBC genetics and all that stuff, and all of this is gonna make a lot more sense. All right, guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. Visit my website and grab a copy of my ebook and training program. Go to www.team3dalpha.com and don't forget to use the 40% off coupon code Nucleus Overload.